Howdy folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay. So, I watched a video the other day and I kind of wanted to sound off on it. It's the fast lane truck Ike Gauntlet test with the Rivian r1t electric truck. Now, I've put some videos up here before about EVs. Got to drive a buddy of mine's Nissan Leaf Gen 2 and kind of gave him some opinions on that. I've cited other reviewers that have done short and long-term electric car tests, and I'll admit, for what I do day to day, I could probably get by with one up until the degradation hit pretty hard. I was actually pricing out a mid-range, or shorter mid-range Mustang Mach-E 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, just to see what the price was, see how far it would go, things like that. It would work for my commute until the degradation started getting over 20%, however long that would take driving 110, 120 miles a day. All that said, this review was interesting to me. It's the first pickup truck EV to market. So it's very cool that they're the first. The part about it that I gotta admit disappoints me is the range, and I do understand that when you tow, you lose range. I've been towing since I could just about reach the pedals, pulling anywhere between 1,500 to 8,000 pounds, so I know. But when they hooked a 8,000 pound trailer up to this Rivian, well inside its tow ratings and certifications, and put it in tow haul mode, its range went from a little over 310, 330 miles to 135. And now granted, they're towing a lot of uphill, some downhill, because you go up the mountain, you got to come down. And the calculator was somewhat inaccurate, but it's expecting level ground overall, and then they end up charging up this big hill. So it wasn't completely accurate, but it did give, hey, you're going to lose a lot of range doing what you're doing here towing. Okay, fine. So they tow up to the Eisenhower Tunnel with this, lose a lot of range. When they get down the other side, they actually had to charge the battery to make sure that they had enough state of charge to go back up the other side. Where it gets really interesting, in my opinion, this thing set an absolute perfect run. It's an 8-mile run, speed limit of 60 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour for 8 minutes. You travel the 8 miles. Perfect benchmark run. The thing leapt up to speed. Their camera chase vehicle was a late model Ram 1500 with the big 6.4 liter V8, and it couldn't keep up with another truck that was towing 8,000 pounds on a trailer. So very, very responsive vehicle. Personally, I do think that truck would work for a lot of people. Frankly, for what I do truck stuff, like my old work truck that I'm in the summertime, that would handle all the truck stuff that I do in the summertime, as far as getting me to and from where I gotta go. That kind of range would also handle getting me to and from work and charging at the house. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of adopters that like to go anywhere with their truck with that, like doing truck stuff. So people that take their boats out to the lake. As an example, a buddy of mine, when I was a kid, he was, a mentor of mine. He had a boat out on a local river and would take me and my buddies out once, twice a summer. And we get to go tubing, skiing, whatever, out on this river. Well, that would have been about 40, 45 miles away. If I'm thinking right, I'd have to look at a map. He'd have to go to where his boat was, pick it up, drag it over to the gas station real quick, which was a couple miles, go back past it to where he put his boat and then drive his boat back home, back to his storage spot, and then drive home. He probably would be okay. If he wasn't storing his boat, he'd really start running into problems. I don't know if he'd have enough range pulling that boat to make the full round trip without having to charge, and I don't know that there's charging points at that location. And I know that they're cropping up everywhere, but it is going to be... You will lose versatility if you're using it as a truck to do truck stuff. However, there are a lot of people that are buying trucks to haul their own butt. A buddy of mine bought a F-150 with all the buttons, bells, whistles, and options and tow packages, and he's like, the heaviest thing that this thing is ever going to haul is going to be either my washer and dryer or if I get a new couch. And he drives a late model F-150 that'll tow 12,000 pounds. So I definitely understand getting something a little more capable than what you need. That way, you know, you've got it if you upgrade a little bit, but I don't understand buying a 15 to 18 mile a gallon truck just to drive around the slow lane empty every day. Doesn't make sense to me. I would consider buying a truck if there was a way for me to use it on my weekend as a truck, or if there was a need for me to use it on the weekend as a truck. I don't think I'd buy one as a daily. Too much money, not enough return, or not worth it enough in my opinion. So anyway, I do think that electric trucks are coming. I think they're going to be interesting. They will tow very well because they've got all that instant torque. But for them to see mass adoption into working industries, I don't think that's going to happen with the current battery tech. I think it's going to be the next generation or two of battery tech before that ends up happening. That's my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments. Take care.